Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about PlayStation, Linux, Steam, Nintendo Switch, and a whole bunch more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx, and if you like Tears of the Kingdom, you might like this update. So as of version 1.1.802, there's a fix for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom locking in at 20 frames per second in situations where it shouldn't. They do say though, note that the game may still lock to 20 frames per second if your hardware is unable to maintain 30 frames per second. In these environments, a 30 frames per second mod may still be needed. I am not gonna lie here, I've seen a whole bunch of people complain about that 20 frames per second cap and having to use that 30 frames per second hack in order to get things working correctly. If you're currently using Yuzu, you may want to check out the latest version. Moving on, and we're talking about PlayStation, and we've talked about this one before, but now it's confirmed. There's going to be a brand new PlayStation Showcase on May 24th at 1 p.m. PDT, so you may want to check your calendars and set a reminder. On a quick side note here, if you click on the community tab on this YouTube page, you can put in your comments here for what games you think Sony is going to showcase. And I'll probably go over this in a future video after the showcase and see who was right. And speaking about showcases, next up we're talking about Mortal Kombat, and today they tweeted out tomorrow is a new dawn, followed by a video that says this is time, May 18th at 6 a.m. PT. So I'm guessing tomorrow we're going to see a brand new look at the new MK game. And speaking about new games, next up we're talking about an old game, a great game though. WayForward tweeted out that as of June 2nd, Shantae, the original one, will be coming to PS4 and PS5. If you haven't played this game yet, I do recommend checking it out. And speaking about checking stuff out, check this out, it's extremely interesting. Frank Cifaldi says with the help of Mania Heads, we're reconstructing cut levels from Sonic 2, from paper documents that somehow survived the last 30 years. This is literally archaeology. They say here more soon, tweeting to keep myself motivated to finish this thing. Now, someone asked the obvious question, are these levels going to be playable? And Frank says, so all we have right now is the level layout and a general idea of the palette and art direction for the tiles. We don't know how the objects were supposed to behave or what enemies were supposed to be here. It will never be truly playable with what we have. While that piece of news is a little bit disappointing, at the same time here I wouldn't be surprised to see a modder pick up these level designs and make something playable. So here is hoping, and I've got my fingers crossed. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. But speaking about playable, next up we're talking about Streets of Rage X and their brand new first public beta. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the YouTube video in the description below, and if you don't know what it is, Streets of Rage X stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and it's a continuation or sequel to Streets of Rage 2. It's got brand new playable characters, levels, a reworked soundtrack, and also reworked game mechanics. This one to me is extremely interesting and I may check it out. Now if you are interested in learning more about this one, everything can be found in the description on that YouTube video, and it appears that it's coming out for Windows and Android. And speaking about fan-made stuff, next up we're quickly talking about SM2. For those who may not be aware, SM2 was a fan-made mod for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It was supposed to be some sort of mashup of a whole bunch of previous Call of Duty games, and they were going to release it for free. And today they tweeted out a team member received a cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the SM2 project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations permanently. Thank you for your support over the past 2 years. And if you head to their website, it links directly to this tweet. Moving on, and we're quickly talking about Uptobox in France, and apparently in France a whole bunch of ISPs are going to start blocking Uptobox thanks to a court order. And I'm assuming a whole bunch of people are going to resort to a VPN to circumvent this. If you are curious about this, I'll drop a link to the article in the description below, and feel free to check it out and learn more about it. I'm kind of curious to see if this happens in other countries, so much for a free and open internet. And speaking about the internet, next up we're talking about Steam. And Steam put out a very interesting article titled The Future of Traffic Reporting on Steam. New Steamworks tools coming to help understand your store traffic and to protect player privacy. I am not joking with you here. Steam and Valve seem to actually care about people's privacy, at least on the surface, which is very rare in today's day and age. Anyways, they're ending Steam support for Google Analytics. They say as the time has gone on, we've come to realize that Google's tracking solutions don't align well with our approach to customer privacy. Wow. And speaking about Valve, next up we're talking about Immersion, and it doesn't look like Immersion's too happy with Valve, as it appears that they're launching a court case against them. They're accusing Valve of violating about 7 of their patents in the Steam Deck. It's still super early on, and I'm kind of curious to see where this one goes. And last up here, we're talking about Linux and Lutris, and Lutris just got a brand new release. For those who may not be aware, Lutris is a very good program to help play your games and help keep everything all in one place. So as of yesterday, Lutris has released version 0.5.13, and I think this is a pretty big release because they've added support for Proton. If you use Lutris, let me know in the comments below and let me know your thoughts about it. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.